Tom's day of asking for permission. Hello! My name is Tom, and today I want to tell you about a day when I had to ask for permission many times. Asking for permission is very important because it shows respect and politeness. Let me tell you what happened throughout my day. It was a Friday morning, and I had a busy day planned. I was getting ready to go to school, but first, I needed to help my mom with breakfast. I walked into the kitchen, and she was already cooking. I wanted to help her, so I asked, "Mom, can I help you with breakfast?" She smiled and replied, "Of course, Tom. Could you please set the table?" I happily agreed, saying, "Sure." I felt good about asking to help, and it was nice to work together. Asking, "Can I help you?" is a polite way to offer your help, and it shows you care. After setting the table, we enjoyed breakfast together. Then it was time to leave for school. Before going, I remembered that I wanted to bring a snack for later. So, I asked my mom, "Mom, may I take a snack with me to school?" She replied, "Yes, you can, but just take a small snack." I thanked her and chose an apple to put in my bag. Saying "may I" is a very polite way to ask, and it made me feel good to be respectful. When I arrived at school, I went straight to my classroom. Our teacher, Ms. Brown, was already there and greeted us with a big smile, saying, "Good morning, everyone." I smiled back and said, "Good morning, Ms. Brown." After I sat down, I realized that I didn't have a pencil with me. Instead of taking one from the desk without asking, I turned to my classmate, Sarah, and asked, "Sarah, can I borrow a pencil, please?" Sarah smiled and said, "Sure, here you go." I thanked her and felt glad I had asked nicely. It's always a good idea to ask for permission before borrowing something. It shows respect for other people's things. Later in class, we were working on a group project. My friend Jack had some important notes in his notebook that I wanted to see. I didn't just take his notebook without asking. Instead, I said, "Jack, may I see your notebook for a moment?" Jack nodded and replied, "Of course, Tom." I thanked him and looked through his notes. Asking "may I" is a polite way to ask, and it made me feel respectful of his things. Jack seemed happy to help because I had asked kindly. When lunchtime came, my friends and I went to the cafeteria to eat together. I was feeling a bit thirsty and noticed that my friend had an extra bottle of water. I didn't just take it without asking. Instead, I asked, "Could I please have one of your water bottles?" My friend smiled and said, "Yes, no problem." I thanked him and drank the water. Asking, "Could I please" is very polite and made my friend feel appreciated for sharing his water. After lunch, we went outside for recess. I saw a soccer ball lying on the field, and I really wanted to play with it. But there were already some kids playing with the ball. Instead of taking it, I asked, "Excuse me, can I play with the ball too?" They looked at me and said, "Sure, you can join us." It felt good to ask first before joining the game, and we had a great time playing soccer together. It was nice to make new friends just by asking politely. When school ended, I walked home. When I arrived, I saw my mom reading a book in the living room. I wanted to go to the park to play for a while, but I knew I should ask first. So, I said, "Mom, may I go to the park for a little while?" She thought about it and then replied, "Yes, you can, but only for 1 hour." I thanked her and happily ran outside to enjoy the fresh air and play in the park. At the park, I saw my neighbor, Lily, swinging on the swings. I wanted to swing too, but I didn't want to be rude. So, I asked, "Lily, could I use the swing when you're done?" She smiled and said, "Yes, you can use it after me." I waited patiently, and when she finished, I got my turn on the swing. It felt good to wait my turn and ask nicely before taking a turn on the swings. After playing at the park, I went back home. In the evening, my dad came home from work, and we all sat down to have dinner together. My mom had made my favorite food, pasta. I ate my pasta quickly and wanted a little more. Instead of just taking more, I asked, "Mom, can I have some more pasta, please?" She laughed and said, "Yes, of course, Tom." Asking nicely made dinner more enjoyable for everyone. Before going to bed, I wanted to watch a bit of TV. I asked my dad, "Dad, may I watch TV for 30 minutes before bed?" He smiled and said, "Yes, but only for 30 minutes, and then it's time to sleep." I agreed, and I watched my favorite show for a little while. Asking politely helped me get a nice end to my day. At the end of the day, I thought about all the times I had asked for permission. I learned that asking politely is important. It shows respect and makes people feel happy to help. Saying "can I," "may I," and "could I" are all polite ways to ask for permission, and they show respect for the people around you. That's my story about asking for permission. It's a simple thing, but it makes a big difference. The next time you want to borrow something, go somewhere, or join a game, remember to ask politely. You'll see that people are always happy to say yes when you ask kindly.